Hey guys, my name is Rivaan and in this video we are going to take a deep dive in futures. We will start off by understanding what futures are with the help of an example, then understanding why even understand futures, then getting some data from the net and understanding how we can use futures properly with error handling. After that, we will take a quick look at properties in the future class we can use. So let's get started. A term you'll see getting used with futures is async, which is short for asynchronous. This is a vast and very interesting topic which also makes up for the foundation of futures. So if a very short description is to be given, async allows a program to complete other work while waiting for another work to be finished. What do I mean by that? Suppose you want your program to display user profile image which has to be brought from a database and a text saying welcome below each other. If the image is brought from the database first and only after the image is brought, the text is displayed, this will cause a program to work slowly, which is not very user friendly, right? Instead, a program gets the profile image while even following the next process, which is displaying a welcome text. Both of the processes are working simultaneously and not one after the another. This is asynchronous in short. So now, what are futures? Now, if a definition for future is to be given, futures can be considered as a data type which are used to represent a piece of value which is right now incomplete but will get completed in some time in the form of a value or an error. Now, what do I mean by this? Suppose we have this flowchart over here. Now, consider there's a teacher who wants to get students' data in her class. She will get this data from the accounts office, so it will take some time, right? So now she sends a request to the accounts office. Now this instantaneous moment when she sends a request to the accounts office, the request is incomplete, right? After some time, this incomplete request will get completed. It has to get completed because the accounts office has to do their duty, right? Now, after completion, it will take some time. And after some time has been passed, this incomplete request will complete. And the accounts office will give students data to the teacher or will notify the teacher that they have ran into some errors, like they don't have that data with them anymore and well, they're trying their best to get it. So it will be an exception or they can just return a value. So this basically is a future. If you're familiar with JavaScript, you will know promises, and it is the same concept as futures, just a different name, right? So now, as I mentioned previously, futures take some time to complete and return some value thereafter. So whatever data you fetch from the net is future. Any crude methods used in databases return a future. Even reading data from your file storage, which can be done using packages like path provider, return future. If you want a tutorial on path provider, let me know in the comment section. I'll make one on it. Now, getting back to futures, futures can even be used to create some delay in our app. We'll look in all of this in this tutorial. And now, this is why it is even necessary to understand futures. So now, how can we implement a future, right? This is the question. So now I have my code over here. I have a main.dart file and my app class, which has the home as explain futures class. Over here, I'm just displaying a text which is center aligned futures explained, and I have a second page as here as well. So this is our code. I ran the Flutter create command and added all of this code. You can do the same. So now let me create an init state function over here. Init state method. This method runs first in our app, like before the widget tree is created. Right. So now we'll try to fetch a request from an external API. The API we are going to use is this JSON placeholder. Right. Now, JSON placeholder will give you many endpoints, like there's to-dos, posts, comments, album, photo, and users. Now we want student data as we made in our example. So I'll just take this. It will give us a nice JSON format. I'll take this and I'm going to send an API request to this. Now futures can't be accessed in init state method as such, because see, init state has a data type of void. Now it has a return data type of void. Futures, well, are futures, right? We can't use them as void. So if you try to do it over here, you'll get an error. So there are two approaches you can take. One is you can create you can use the did change dependencies. This is similar to init state with a bit of difference, but it will work for you. Or you can just create a function over here. I'm going to say get student details. I'm going to create this function over here. Get student details. Right now, you can use future over here, because we can give the function any type we want and use it in init state, but we can't call futures here. So now let me put in our URL here. This is our URL to which we are going to send an API request. How am I going to do that? Well, I have a package called HTTP. You can find it over here. HTTP, I'll mention this link in the description. You can just add this in your popspec.yaml file and use it. And I'm going to use this as HTTP because many methods combine with the, Flutter's package, like the Flutter inbuilt methods. So I'm going to use it like this. And I'm going to send a GET request on this URL. And the URL is this, but I have to send in a URI, right? So to convert it into URI, I'm going to do URI.pass and pass in this URL. And this will send a GET request to this URL. But we won't get any, like suppose I save this response over here. Let's say I take this response and print it over here. Now I can't really, first of all, I'm getting this error over here because this is a future and the future's value keeps on changing. Like first it's empty, then it converts into some value. So I can't, so it can't really be a constant, right? So now I'll just take a look at this. I can just do it dynamic and it will give me no error. And when I try to print it, let's try to, send a request. I'll hot restart and you'll see instance of future response. So we are getting we are not really getting the value we want, right? See over here, we can see our API getting so many names, but we can't get that. We are getting instance of future response. This is because we need to, this is a future value we'll get. If you hover over here, you'll see that it is a future response. To convert this into just a response, we need to do something. So I'll remove all of this part over here. There are two approaches you can take to get value from the future. One is then approach. First one. So over here, what you can do is after getting it over here, we'll just put a then function over here. Now this then will give us a value and then we can just print this value. Right. Now if we reload our app, we'll get instance of response. Right. This is without future. So we have resolved our futures over here using the then function. It's that easy. And now if I want to get the value, I can just do value.body. And now if I restart my app, I'll get all of the data. Seems cool, right? So this is the first approach. And now you'll ask me, where is the error handling part, right? Even that's easy. You can just do dot and then do catchError. And like the previous one, we'll get the error. And then we can just print the error. And I'll just convert this to a string. And now if I do this, I'll restart the app and you'll see getting all of this. We didn't really get any error or exception, so we'll only get this part. Only if there is exception, like suppose I mistype the URL over here. Let's say I do that and I run this. See over here, socket exception failed host. So this is the error we are getting, and we can catch this using the catch error. Now this method is seems reasonable, right? It's pretty good, and well, we don't really use it anymore because there's a lot of nesting, there's a lot of unnecessary code, so as to say. So suppose I have a then over here. Now if I have to do more, I'll just convert this arrow function to this over here like this, and then I'll keep doing stuff I want to do, right? But still the problem is, if I want to send another request after getting this request, suppose I get this value, and based on this value I have to send another request, it will be a lot of nesting happening, and this won't be a good way to read the code, right? So this approach works, but it's not a very good approach. It's not very readable, so as to say. So we'll comment this and look at the other method. The other method is, we'll just take response. First of all, we'll need to make this function asynchronous. We'll put async over here to make this function asynchronous. And after putting asynchronous, the return type of this method becomes future. So whenever you use suppose I'll just send an HTTP request over here. No, it can't be a const since the value is going to keep changing. I'll just put in response, and I'll call this response, which is equal to actually this will be http.response, and it will be well, I'll send an http.getRequest over here to the URL. Right, now this is giving us error. Now as I mentioned previously, this should have a return type of future, and if it's like this, then we get no error because the data type of this res variable will become future http.response, but we'll not really see any changes happening. Like we won't see any text if we want to display it. Nothing will happen. We'll only get instance of future response as we got previously, right? So now to do that, to convert this into response, what we can do is, we have used async. Now we can just use await, and that's it. Our whole error goes away. And if we print this, print response dot body, and now if you do this, it is giving us error, right? Because we have not put this. But it is a good way to even let us know that, yeah, we need to introduce error handling over here, right? Like we did over here, .catchError. We need to do something over here so that we can catch these errors. Now we can do .catch over here after this, but we need to escape from this nesting thing over here, right? And that's why we've used async await thing over here. So what we can do is wrap this in a try catch block. I'll take this, put this in a try, and put this in a catch, and I can just print the error dot to string. After this is done, you'll see if we introduce some error over here, it will give us the same error as we had before. But this is a less complicated way to do it. Instead of using such a big approach and such less readable code, we can just do it easily. Now if we want something, we want to send another request, so we can just take this res variable and do it below this, and then res.body and send another request. It makes our life much more easier, right? And this is basically how you can get from any external API some data using futures. now the return type of this will be future, not just void, it will be future void. And now if we return some string, let's say I'll take this res outside, and I'll do res equals this. Now if I return res dot body, see, we get an error over here because our data type has changed. Now our data type is future string. Now if we put just late, we'll get our error resolved. Alright, so now if we do that, you see all of our errors are gone. And if we do this over here, constant data is equal to and now we can't use async over here, as I was telling. Now I'll prove it. If I put async over here and then use await, we'll get error. And that is because let's just, I again use that thing, data. Now I'll print that data and you'll see we won't get anything. See, we're getting lots of errors. This error over here. This is because we can't make the init state function asynchronous, because the type of this init state will change to future void, but it has to be only void. Now we'll just try to create a delay in our app. Now we know how to send an API request and get an API request. Now we'll just try to create a delay in our app. Now why do we need to create a delay in our app? Suppose I want to transition, like after 2 seconds I need to show a new page. Like I have a second page over here, right? Now I have explained futures class over here, which is this class over here. I'll just save this and refresh. I have this class. Now I want to go to the second page automatically after 2 seconds. So how can I do that? So to achieve that, again, I'm going to create another function. What can I say this? Delay trans. That means delay transition. And I'll have delay transition over here. Now, what do I want to do? I want to create a delay of 2 seconds, after which I can, transition to another page. Now we've written our, what we want down. So now let's work on it. To do this, we have a function called Future.delayed. So this will delay the amount of time, like it will make our app wait for just 2 seconds and then do our task, which we'll mention. Now, obviously this is a future, so it has to get resolved. So we'll just put async and then await over here. We have learned this before. You can always put then over here, but as I mentioned before, it's not a very good approach. Now I'll just pass in a duration of, let's say, seconds 2, and I'll pass in what I want to do. What do I want to do after 2 seconds happen? Well, I want to navigate. Navigator dot of context dot push material page route, and we'll get to the second page and put a semicolon. Yeah. Now let's just resolve these warnings by putting const. Cool. Now it will using this future.delayed, we can create a delay of 2 seconds, and after those 2 seconds have been done, we'll navigate to another page. Now see this in action. You see, we have navigated to the second page without me doing anything. So this is how you can even add delay to your app using future.delayed. This can even be done with other widgets like alert builder, like you want to show any error. I've done this in my scribble.io clone series. You can find the card in the top right corner. Make sure to check it out if you're interested. Now the next thing we'll have a look at is what's called future, creating my own future. So suppose I'm building a package on pub.dev, like this HTTP package over here. I'm creating my own package. Now I want to create my own future which can give errors, which can be a future itself. You really want it in your app. So what you can in your package, sorry. So what you can do is let's just create my future package and paste it over here. Also I'll mark it asynchronous over here. So now I have to create my own future. So I'll write here creating my own future. So I'll do future. It is going to be of the type future, right? Now future is equal to new future. And in this future I need to add a function. And what will this function do? Basically this function will say, now I'll just remove this future new over here. Now basically this future will say that what do I want to do when this future resolves. So what do I want to do? Let me just say print what's up, right? And now I can just save it. But this is a future, right? And we've seen before how futures are. We need to resolve them. So I can just do future future dot then. I'll use the then approach now, since I've used the await a lot of times now. So I'll just do future dot then, and I'll just print the value we get. And what is the value we'll get? Suppose this is our future. Now after resolving this is the function which is going to run. So future dot then, and the value over here will be the whole function. It will call the whole function, and what's the thing that will happen? It will print for us what's up. And we can just catch any error, but I don't think we'll get any error in such a small code. So let me just print error. Alright, now let me restart, and you'll see what's up is what we get. Now print the value is returning null as well, because we haven't returned really anything at all. So what we can do is return a text, hey, and now if we restart, you'll see hey coming over here, because that's the value we've returned from here. Cool. So this is about creating our own future. Now I'll show you future.error as well. So suppose I have this future.error. I want to return an error in my app, like so that suppose I've done some task in my database, and after that I need to go to the catch block so that I can just display an error message. According to your use case, you can find any. So what do I want to do? I can use future.error. Again, I'll await this. So I can just do future.error and throw an exception. And exception takes in let's say some internal occurred error. And now I'll just print this. Now this is telling me unhandled exception, some internal exception occurred. This is the exception we ourselves have created, right? Now if we wrap this in a try catch block as we did before, it catches error by itself. Print error, work on it. See over here, exception, some internal error had occurred. We need to just convert this to a string so that we can see it, and we don't get the stack trace over here. So we have created our own future error. Now let me just remove this as well. The last thing I want to show you is future.value. This is of a great importance. Now if you put in future over here and just do this. Oh sorry, yeah, you see future.value, and this will print what's up for us, and it will basically return a value for the value of our future, right? And this is a great handy trick to use. So this is it for this video. We took a look at creating our own delay transition, like transitioning from the page in just 2 seconds, then getting the students list from a random API. Then we saw the 2 approaches we could take to resolve a future, and all of those work. Now what do we do if we need to print the future, like whatever value we got right over here? Suppose we have this, we have res.body over here. Now what do I do if I want to show this value? Well, I have res.body, I can just use listview.builder. But there's another approach which we can take, and we can just take the future value we have and use this in our app, and not use the await, async, anything at all. And we can use a widget to do that. That's called future builder, and this is what our next video is my next video is going to be. So if you're interested, just stay around for a while. It will be coming up soon. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video.